Getting there is half the fun. Getting there is half the fun. Walt Russell.
2 weeks ago, I flew to the annual Toastmasters International Convention at the Foxwoods MGM Grand Casino in Mashantucket, Connecticut. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, raise your hand if you know our Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, Joan Lewis. Quite a few. Joan was going to the international convention. I was a little surprised because in June, flying to the regional convention or conference in San Mateo, she had a terrible travel experience. She had a 3-hour delay, 4 gate changes, and when she got to San Francisco, her bags didn't make it. They came on a flight an hour later. And to top that off, by the time she got her bags, the last hotel shuttle of the day had already left. She would have got there faster by walking. And going home, she had another 3-hour delay. So I was anxious to see Joan in Foxwoods to see what her travel experience was this time. There's no direct flight from Los Angeles to Mashantucket. Surprise! You have to fly into either Hartford or Providence, and that's at least one airline connection and a $150 cab ride away. The casino is located on a Mohegan Indian reservation. In fact, Mashantucket's an old Indian word that means an hour and 13 minutes away from the nearest airport. So I flew from LAX to Dallas to Hartford. And I only had a 45-minute layover in Dallas, so I was a little worried about that connection. As we're sitting at the gateway, the pilot comes on the PA. There's a mechanical problem with the aircraft. Maintenance is on the way. We need to repair a footrest. Excuse me? A footrest? When has the NTSB ever determined that the root cause of a plane crash was a broken footrest? Are you kidding me? I looked around my airplane. I just knew Joan Lewis was on that plane. But she wasn't. I made it to Dallas after it took 35 minutes to pull away from the gate. And I made it there with 15 minutes to spare. So I grabbed my luggage and I started power walking to my gate. I started breathing heavy. I just looked like I'm in shape. And I kept going. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. But I made it to the gate right before the big timer in the sky turned on the red light. After I got to Mashantucket, I rented a red Dodge Charger and drove to Mashantucket. And instead of taking the Toastmaster shuttle, they had a $50 round trip shuttle, but instead I rented a car because I got there after the shuttle, and it's a good thing I did. The next day of registration, I saw District 1 Toastmaster Jim Padgett. Jim was not happy. Jim had taken the Toastmaster shuttle. He had to wait 2 hours for the shuttle, and then, as they pulled away from the airport, bang! A loud noise, and the shuttle stopped. It took over an hour for another shuttle to come. I said, Jim, that's terrible. Were you traveling with Joan Lewis? He said no. Later that evening, I was checking my email. There was a Facebook notification from Joan Lewis. It said, why me? I had to wait 3 hours for my shuttle. I thought things were going to be different this time. But there's more to the convention than just getting there. When I was at the convention, I met 2 ladies of the evening. No, it's not what you think. They were there to improve their speaking and leadership skills. in a mutually supportive and positive learning environment. And I got to see the World Championship of Public Speaking. Now, those of us that have been in Toastmasters for a while know that in an inspirational speech, at least half the time, someone close to the speaker dies. It's almost become a cliche. I met one of the contestants, Shakis Newt, and she was very pregnant. In fact, she was showing more than I do. And it dawned on me, this year, instead of seeing somebody die on stage, we're actually going to see someone give birth. Max are out on points for originality. And the highlight of the International Convention is the President's Dinner Dance. And with the onset of Facebook and all these cameras that were there, I need to go on record as saying that there was somebody at this convention that looked a lot like me. A lot like me. And boy, was he doing some embarrassing things. In fact, here's a picture of him with District 1 Toastmaster Gloria Davis. Now, I was on the other side of the room when they took this picture. Next year's International Convention is going to be in Palm Desert. This year I had a great time, and I think you'll have a great time too. So you really should consider going. Just don't carpool with Joan Lewis, the Madam Toastmaster.